Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we dive in, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Crypto Republic rarely sleeps, and just when the headlines begin to fade, something seismic happens beneath the surface. This time it's Ripple making waves again. While the market's attention is scattered between ETFs, Bitcoin halvings, and the latest meme coin distractions, Ripple just made one of the most strategic corporate moves we've seen in 2025. A billion-dollar acquisition of a financial powerhouse called GTreasury, a company deeply rooted in the global treasury management world, handling liquidity for some of the largest corporations on Earth. Now, this just isn't another acquisition. It's a signal, a whisper becoming a roar. That XRP revolution might finally be entering its implementation phase. So in today's video, we're going to break down this piece by piece, from what GTreasury actually is to what Ripple is really building, to what this means for the future of XRP and the digital economy as a whole. So let's dive in right now. Let's start with the basics. Before we understand the impact, we need to understand the player. GTreasury isn't some shiny new startup. It's a Chicago-based global treasury management platform, trusted by more than 1,000 clients across 160 countries. We're talking about clients like Volvo, Subway, and major Fortune 500 players, all managing their cash risk and payments through GTreasury's network. They connect with over 13,000 banks worldwide, processing over $12.5 trillion in payment volume. They're also SWIFT certified, working hand in hand with JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and major FX networks to streamline institutional payment flows. In other words, GTreasury is the plumbing behind the corporate world's cash flow. Now, here's where things get interesting. Ripple's move plugs XRP's distributed ledger directly into this existing infrastructure, not by replacing it, but by integrating from within. It's the difference between attacking a fortress and walking through the front door with the keys. Brad Garlinghouse once said that payments are the primary use case for crypto. And he's right, because if we strip away the hype, blockchain's real superpower isn't speculation, it's eliminating friction in money movement. Today, over $120 trillion sits trapped in outdated corporate systems, siloed across continents, stuck in legacy rails, moving at the pace of paperwork. Ripple sees this not as a problem, but as an opportunity. By acquiring GTreasury, Ripple gains access to the massive corporate liquidity and a gateway to CFOs, treasurers, and institutions already looking for faster, cheaper, compliant solutions. This is how revolutions begin, ladies and gentlemen, not through chaos, but through integration. Much like the internet's early days, when only universities and research labs used it, most people didn't realize what was coming until email replaced fax machines. That's exactly what's happening here. Ripple's building the email system of money. So let's zoom out for a second. History shows us that every financial empire evolves through technology. In the 15th century, the Medici family revolutionized commerce by inventing double-entry bookkeeping, the foundation for modern accounting. Okay? In the 19th century, the telegraph and paper checks connected global trade. In the 20th century, SWIFT and electronic payment networks created a new layer of speed. And now it's the 21st century. Ripple's acquisition of GTreasury represents the next leap, merging blockchain and liquidity with real-world treasury systems. This isn't about replacing banks. It's about upgrading the rails they run on. Ripple's acquisition allows it to connect traditional financial tools with tokenized deposits, stablecoins, and XRP-led cross-border liquidity. It's not theory anymore, it's implementation. Think of GTreasury as the dashboard where corporations view and manage their global money, cash, debt, FX exposure. It all flows through this interface. Now imagine that same dashboard with Ripple's on-demand liquidity ODL technology running underneath it. That means real-time settlement, 24/7 across borders. No middlemen, no waiting periods, no locked capital. CFOs can move funds instantly, hedge risk, and even put idle capital to work through tokenized repo markets. Powered by Hidden Road, another Ripple acquisition. This is liquidity efficiency at scale. When you connect these dots, GTreasury, Hidden Road, Rail, Ripple's stablecoin platform, and the XRP ledger, what you see forming is a complete ecosystem. Ripple isn't just providing blockchain, it's quietly becoming the digital central nervous system of corporate finance. SWIFT has dominated cross-border messaging for decades. JP Morgan's transaction banking has been a gold standard, but both are slow and expensive compared to blockchain settlement. Ripple's move with GTreasury places them right in the same room as these giants, but this time they're not competing head-on. They're collaborating through connectivity. It's the classic Trojan horse approach. When the Greeks couldn't breach Troy's walls, they didn't destroy the city, they entered it. Ripple's Trojan horse is compliance, partnerships, and seamless integration. Instead of fighting the system, they're becoming indispensable to it. Now let's talk numbers, because no crypto story is complete without the charts. Ripple's fundamentals have never looked stronger. 3 major acquisitions in 2025 alone, Hidden Road, Rail, and now GTreasury, show that the company's deep war chest and strategic expansion. Technically, XRP remains in a long-term upward channel. While resistance remains near all-time highs, the structural setup points towards a next leg up, potentially beyond the $3 range once momentum resumes. Beyond price speculation, the real value lies in utility adoption. When institutional liquidity starts flowing through XRP rails, not as an experiment, but as a default setting, the market will eventually reflect that reality. Remember, markets don't move when the news breaks. They move when the implications sink. This isn't just a Ripple story. It's a macro story about the evolution of finance. We're witnessing the convergence of blockchain, tokenization, and institutional liquidity. GTreasury gives Ripple a seat at the table, where trillion-dollar decisions are made daily, and now XRP is quietly entering the conversation. It's like when electricity first powered factories. Nobody realized that in a few decades, every home on Earth would depend on it. Blockchain is following that same path. This acquisition is more than a headline. It's a signal of maturity, that blockchain isn't an experiment anymore. It's an infrastructure upgrade for the next financial era. So what does all this mean for XRP holders? It means patience may finally meet validation. Ripple isn't chasing hype. It's building systems, acquiring infrastructure, and aligning with global compliance standards that most crypto projects ignore. When people say there's no mention of XRP, they're missing the bigger picture entirely. Ripple's entire business model is built on the XRP ledger, the digital backbone behind these integrations. And all these systems go live, liquidity demand naturally flows towards the asset that makes it all possible. This is how revolutions start, quietly, strategically, and inevitable. So as we close, remember this. The financial world doesn't change overnight, but every once in a while, a company like Ripple makes a move that redefines the landscape. This isn't about speculation. It's about structure, strategy, and the future value of transfer. We've entered a new era where blockchain isn't just disrupting finance, it's becoming finance. Ripple just placed another cornerstone in that foundation. And if you're paying attention, you can feel the ground shifting, because revolutions don't always start with noise. Sometimes they start with a quiet billion-dollar acquisition. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, ring that bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you the truth about XRP, global banking moves, and the wealth transfer already unfolding. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay in the Republic.